Imagine this.
You're hanging on a rope in the mountains. Below you is only the deep abyss. You're wide awake and concentrated. Your heart is pumping like crazy. One wrong move could mean the end, and only a careless grip separates you from a steep fall into the depths.
Well, admittedly, this situation is not as spectacular as it sounds if you only experience it in a video game. But there are people all over the world who push their limits every day in real life. For them, the only thing that counts is higher, faster, and further. Normal sports competitions are no challenge for them. Extreme athletes and adrenaline junkies are always looking for the next kick anyway. But the people in this video are absolutely tired of life. You can expect extreme driving skills, climbers with nerves of steel, or jumps that will leave you breathless. So be sure to stay tuned here at Wonderlane. One thing beforehand. Disclaimer: even if the dangerous situations that we show here all turned out well and no one came to harm, don't try any of them at home. Let's start with number 9 and a clip showing a dangerous attraction that has its origins in the USA of the early 20th century. Since then, there have been so-called Motordromes, portable steel balls in which riders perform spectacular tricks at fairs, for example. It is in the nature of things that riding a motorcycle in a Motordrome is a very risky undertaking, but it gets even riskier in the clip we're going to show you now, which was shot in the Indian city of Kochi. It shows a motorcyclist and 2 car drivers performing in a Motordrome show. Instead of safe steel, the Motordrome is provisionally built of wooden planks, and also the drivers show a daredevil behavior. The said motorcyclist sometimes even turns his laps freehand, and the car drivers drive up more tightly than most people in a traffic jam. So, all in all, this is a clip that is truly life-sucking due to numerous risky aspects. From the Furious Indians, we now come to number 8 and the American YouTuber Chase Reinfort from the channel Adrenaline Addiction. The 24-year-old extreme athlete is known for his daredevil actions and deep jumps, but what he pulled off in this clip 5 years ago was even extreme for someone like him. While many people are already shivering in front of the diving tower in the outdoor pool, he went into a disused quarry that was filled with water and jumped all alone and without a safety device from a height of 32 meters. Chase even did a double backflip. Only minimal over twisting could have knocked him out and finished him off, as he reached a speed of a full 112 kilometers per hour upon hitting the water's surface. Even though his courage was respectable, in our eyes, it was an action that was just as brave as it was cocky. After this violent jump, we now take to the air and accompany a wingsuit pilot on number 7. Yuli Emanuel had been dreaming of a truly spectacular stunt for 3 years. He wanted to fly his wingsuit through a gap between 2 rocks that was only about 2 meters wide. When he finally put his idea into action in 2015, this clip was created that takes your breath away. Yuli got ready for takeoff, pushed off, glided through the air, and approached the rock gap, which now looked even smaller at breakneck speed. It looked close, but the extreme athlete actually managed one of the most difficult base jumps of all time without any problems. At number 6, you will find a skateboarder, Clive Dixon, with a really cool clip. As an inveterate street skater and pro, Dixon is known for riding very unusual spots and sparing no risk. He took this to the extreme a few years ago when a friend drew the 28-year-old's attention to 2 disused water towers that he had discovered in the Mojave Desert. The special thing about the spot was that the towers were connected with a staircase and a railing, with the unpleasant feature that it went left and right of the staircase over 10 meters into the depth. In fact, Clive lived up to his name and decided to try a board slide. After dozens of attempts that were complicated by the conditions on site, he actually did the trick and landed one of the most daring slides in the history of skateboarding, and even made it onto the cover of the famous Thrasher magazine. Let's move on to number 5 and a clip that even got surfer Garrett McNamara into the Guinness Book of Records. It was in November 9 years ago when the surfer achieved something incredible at Nazaré in Portugal. On this day, he managed to ride an almost 24-meter high wave and longer than anyone before. If you look at the force of nature in the video and the man who seems tiny compared to the wave, you immediately realize how dangerous this action was even for a professional. Number 4 shows a jump that really tops everything that has been seen before. 8 years ago, Felix Baumgartner from Austria succeeded in making the first stratospheric jump ever. First, the extreme athlete floated in a helium balloon to a height of 38.9 kilometers, and then jumped from there with a protective suit and a parachute. After his jump, from there he dropped an incredible 36.4 kilometers and reached a top top speed of 1,357 kilometers per hour in this freefall. Such a speed had never been reached before by a human being in freefall without a stabilization parachute. Baumgartner set 3 world records that day: the one for the highest jump of a skydive, the one for the deepest freefall, and the speed record. The video went viral, and Baumgartner's courage went down in history as he completely redefined the limits of what was possible. Let's move on to number 3, the professional high diver Carlos Marino. The athlete is known for his daredevil jumps from heights of dozens of meters. During a show in 2018, he dared to perform one of his most blatant flips. On an extremely small platform at a height of more than 25 meters, he went into the handstand position. From the handstand, he then performed a multiple somersault. With the slightest mistake, he could have landed wrong, which could even be life-threatening when jumping from that height. But Marino completed his flips with aplomb and still jumps today at high dive shows and Red Bull competition. The video on number 2 shows that there are badass jet pilots not only in the movie Top Gun. Anyone who flies a jet for the military must have his plane perfectly under control in every situation. Especially difficult is flying close to the ground, of course, because a small mistake here can mean colliding with the earth. But that didn't seem to bother the jet pilot in this clip. He even flew so incredibly low that he kicked up dust from the ground with his jet. And then another soldier got in his way, who must have had enormous confidence in his comrade's flying skills. It's hard to tell if in this clip the pilot or his comrade on the ground were more tired of life. Let's move on to number 1 and a video that went viral 2 years ago under the title Escape Hong Kong. It was made by the YouTubers Storer, who are known for their parkour videos and rooftop actions in which they climb high buildings. But their spectacular clip from Hong Kong eclipsed everything. The guys were approached by a security guard on a hotel roof because they had no right to be there. Instead of simply showing, understanding, and leaving the hotel via the elevator, they took a running start and fled over the roofs of the city. Below them, the deep canyons of buildings. Storer did not fear any dangerous jump and used even the smallest heels. Every move could have been their last in this spectacular escape for the parkour professionals. And that's it for today, our 9 clips that prove some people are absolutely tired of life. Write us in the comments which video you found the most spectacular. Otherwise, please like and subscribe to Wonderlane. We'll see you next time here at Wonderlane.